Stop playing around, man. Just get up.
I'm not playing around. There's something in the water.
What do you mean there's something in the
I
water?
don't know. There's just something in the fucking water.
Are you alright?
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Cinemanet Central. My name is Chris, and this is my review for Alien Romulus. Now, this will be a spoiler-free review, so don't worry, I'll try to be as vague as possible when it comes to the details. So, with Alien Romulus, you have this group of space colonists led by Rain, played by Cailee Spaeny, and they soon discover this abandoned ship that has these cryopods that they could hole up in until they get to the planet Yagar, which is supposed to be a place where they can go and live a better life. But unfortunately, Paradise will have to wait until when they discover that there's something a lot more terrifying on board. So, yeah, as I mentioned before in my Alien and Aliens reviews, I'm just a casual fan of this franchise. This isn't a franchise that I tend to go back to. I had seen them, at least I had seen all of them at least once before back in the day, you know, in the past. Just never one I've really cared to rewatch. But this past week, I rewatched the first four. Really love the original, and I love Aliens. It's one of the best horror sequels of all time. I know it's regarded as such, and I'm right there with y'all. Didn't care so much for Alien 3. I mean, at all. And I actually kind of enjoyed Alien Resurrection. You know, I think I might like it more than most. I have not had a chance to revisit Alien vs. Predators or Prometheus or Covenant. So, yeah, I'm going to try to get to that this weekend. But, yeah, I was excited for this movie, for Alien Romulus, mainly just originally because of Isabela Merced. She's in this, and when I heard that she was casting this, I was like, hell yeah, I love her. I think she's a very underrated actress. She needs to be recognized. And after seeing her in this, she definitely should be. Even if she is not the lead, she has a moment in here where I'm like, you know what, she needs to be in more horror movies, and I'll get to that in a minute. But yes, I absolutely love this movie. Fede Alvarez, honestly, I think done the impossible. I think he turned me into an Alien fan. He makes me want to rewatch these movies a hell of a lot more. And so, yeah. First off, let's get to the positives. First off, the cast. Cailee Spaeny. I never did see Civil War this year, but I think I will now because I think she was fantastic here as Rain. She's a great lead here as one of the space colonists. She kind of pretty much carries this movie pretty much the entire time, but she has some great support, to be honest with you. But yeah, she's great here. You have David Jonssen, who is this android who is her brother, and I think he's really good. I do have one small criticism, but for the most part, performance-wise, I think he does pretty good. I'll get to that in a minute. Then you have Archie Renault, who I saw earlier this year in a rom-com called Upgraded, which he starred with Camila Mendes, and I thought he was good in that. I thought he was pretty good in here. He didn't have a whole lot of personality in here, aside from being the older brother of Kay, played by Isabela Merced, and he was pretty protective of his sister, and you know, he's also the ex-boyfriend of Rain. And so there's some kind of, you know, you can tell there's some kind of tension there between them, but they're not like fighting or anything. So they that's what I like about their chemistry, is that they put that stuff aside. They weren't worried about their past relationship. They were just dealing with the fact that they're on this ship and they're trying to, you know, they have one goal, and that's to find a way out, deal with the situation that they're in. And so I like that. And then you have Isabela Merced, and yes, I love her in this movie. Even though she doesn't have a whole lot to do, she kind of spends a lot of her time kind of away from the crew, and she kind of has her own little thing, especially when she deals with the xenomorph and everything. And I really liked her performance. Like I said before, there's a moment where she has this scream, and I'm just like, and it's the moment in the trailer that you don't hear that scream, but in the movie you do, and it's not a spoiler because it's a horror movie. You're gonna hear screams in the horror movie, and I think she's great. She needs to be in more horror movies. So the Blumhouse and all them Blumhouse with caution need to cast her in more movies. I want to see her in a Scream movie. I mean seriously. With the League of Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera, and then you have Mia Goth in the X franchise. Put her in a fucking Scream movie. I want to see her in there. She definitely deserves more credit. I like I said, I loved her in Instant Family. That was her breakout performance with Mark Wahlberg and Rose Byrne. She was Dora in Dora and the Lost City of Gold. I thought she was good. Then earlier this year, she had Madam Web, which let's not talk about that crap. But she was fine. And then another movie that she was in earlier this year, that a few months ago, that came out called Turtles All the Way Down. She's the lead in that movie. Excellent performance. It's my number one movie of the year so far, by the way. And go check that out. I believe it's streaming on Max, so that's a really good movie. But yeah, Isabela Merced is fantastic in this movie. I just wanted to talk about her because she's not mentioned a whole lot in the reviews that I've seen. And so I just want to give her the credit that she deserves. But and then you have Fede Alvarez, who of course just makes all of this happen, and he is fantastic. He done a great job with Don't Breathe. I like Don't Breathe. I love the Evil Dead reboot. I thought he was fantastic in there. This is his best. I think he kind of outdoes himself with this movie, and I think it's great. He studied up on the first two Alien movies, and he really knew how to create that tension and the atmosphere and the horror elements, with and the creatures, with the xenomorphs and the facehuggers and everything, and they're lethal as ever, and it is fantastic. Fede Alvarez, like I said before, he's done the impossible. He has turned me into an Alien fan, a massive Alien fan. He did what M. Night Shyamalan couldn't do with Trap, which I actually did enjoy Trap, despite all of the logic issues. I loved Josh Hartnett's performance so much, I didn't let that get in my way of loving it. But yeah, it still did not make me a Shyamalan fan, but Alvarez, you done exactly what you needed to do to turn me around. And my final positive for me, which may be a negative for some, is this movie does take a huge swing in the third act. And I was waiting. See, I had my phone off, so I didn't know what time it was. I was trying to think about where was this crazy bonkers thing going. And I knew right when it happened. I was like, holy fuck. That is nuts. And I can definitely see why people would be hating on this and also loving it. And thankfully I'm on that side of loving it because I thought it was great. I thought it was a bonkers, ballsy, batshit move, and I thought it was awesome. I was curious as to see how it kind of played out. So yeah, definitely Fede Alvarez took some balls here and took some major swings, and it worked. Now let's just get to my mixed and negative thoughts, and I only have about 3 or 4 things. Number one is that it is kind of slow. It's a lot like the original in a way. While it's not so much a slow burn, it does take a little bit to get started, at least to the action. But at the same time, while I'm mixed about it, it gives us time to get to know some of the characters, primarily Rain and Andy, played by David Jonssen, and we get a little bit of a character backstory on them, and that's really good. But when it comes to wanting to get the action going, it does take a bit to get started. Secondly, in regards to David Jonssen, his character. He's an android. I know that. We know that right from the start of the movie. In versus, in Alien and Aliens and Alien Resurrection. I one thing I noticed that, like, you know, with Ian Holmes' performance as the in the first one, and then you have Lance Henriksen in Aliens, they talk like regular humans. But in here, David Jonssen, he talks like an android. He doesn't sound like an actual human. So that, I mean, the reason I'm more mixed on that than anything. It's just it was kind of off-putting because I was so used to hearing just a regular human talking, but he was actually an android. So I don't know if that was just a mistake there or a mistake here. But he sounded more like an android versus a human. And then when you compare, to Ian Holm and Lance Henriksen, they sounded more like human. So I don't know. I'm just kind of mixed on that. I may be the only one who caught that, but that's just me. And then you have a character in here who pretty much right from the start, within the first 15 minutes of the movie, he is really a douche. He's a real douchebag. He's a kind of an asshole, especially towards a certain other character, and you just could not wait for him to die. I mean, he kind of became insufferable, not to a really high point, but still. And then finally, the biggest thing that kind of took me out of the movie just for a little bit, and it actually kept it from being my second favorite in the franchise, and that is the return of a certain character that they used, and it kind of disrespects the fact that, because he's dead, and I didn't like that. I didn't like the look. That's the biggest off-putting thing, is that it is very terrible. It is really terrible CGI. I mean, it is so off-putting. It's messy. It's dirty. It's just it's weird, and and there were people saying that. There were people saying also that it wasn't necessary. It actually was necessary. I get why it was put. He was brought back, but it just wasn't executed very well. I didn't like it. And so if they had executed it better, then this probably would have still been my second favorite in the franchise. But those moments there that we got that really kind of took me out of it briefly. But overall, guys, I loved Alien Romulus. It's a great sequel. It's the best sequel since Aliens. I think it fits in quite nicely in between Alien and Aliens with the story and everything. And I love it. Great performances, Cailee Spaeny, David Jonssen, Isabela Merced. I liked Archie Renault. The atmosphere is there. Fede Alvarez has outdone himself. Great movie. Absolutely love it. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. But that's just my thoughts on Alien Romulus. Also, I'll have a link for my Alien and Aliens reviews somewhere around here at the end of this video. So don't forget to check those out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this. Comment down below if you've seen Alien Romulus. What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments. I love you guys. You guys are the best, and I will see you next time.